There's a bench by the river that has got my name on it. Lauren Bethany Miller, it says. Only no one calls me that. It's Ren, that's what it should say. I knew it was wrong as soon as I arrived, having been unloaded from the back of a truck and positioned on some paving stones. I'm not stopping here, I said. The workmen, one old, one young, and both dressed in yellow high-visibility vests, had placed me between a large beech tree and an old grey bench. Excuse me, I said. Hello? Weird. They couldn't hear me because they were right in front of me, reading the plaque that had been fixed to the bench. Lauren Bethany Miller, the older one said, as he shook his head. She was only 17. Same age as my daughter, that is. Look, it's got one of them codes that open a website. The younger workman pointed his phone at the black on metal encryption code, and its screen lit up with my name in curly writing, followed by photos of me as a fat baby through to 17. And there was music. Love that song. You Know I'm No Good by Amy Winehouse. Only it's me, my version. That must be her singing, the younger workman said. She's good, the older one said. Pretty as well. It was Maddie who filmed me. She was like my #1 fan back then. It was Holly's party, my first proper paid gig, and the night I finally got with Gabe. And there I am in a lacy black dress with my hair pinned up and heavy black eyeliner. I look all right, better than I realised. I want to go back, right there, right then. The film cuts to Mum. She's all dressed up in black with her hair curled. She briefly looks away, takes a deep breath, and says, "Nothing is the same since Ren was taken from us." She looks into the camera and beyond as if she has seen far more of what there is to know than most people. Poor Mum. My daughter was amazing, Mum says. I know everyone says that about their children, but Ren really was. Lively, funny, talented. She wanted to be a singer, and she would have made it given half a chance. She was adorable and loving, and though we sometimes argued, she was my best friend. Losing Ren has left a massive hole in our family that can never be filled, and though I'm grateful for the time we had together, it's so hard. I think of her every minute of every... The older workman turned away. I can't watch this. You're getting emotional, the younger guy said. Leave it out. You are. Look at you. 17. That's tragic. What do you reckon? Suicide or drugs? I'd rather not know. Turn it off. Let's finish up and get out of here. I agree, I said. The last thing I want is to be reminded of all that. They unloaded some machinery and I could see their tattoos. The older guy had an old school swallow on his hand, while the younger one had a large black snake encircling his arm. Love tattoos. I've got one. Mum was so angry when she found out. She said it would look terrible when I get old and I'd go right off it. Well, I never did. They placed a large drill on the ground beside me. What's that for? I asked. The young man shuddered. I just had this weird shivery feeling come over me. This bench creeps me out. It's a bench, the other guy said. How come you're in such a hurry to finish then? That's not like you. You know how it is. Things to do, people to see. Come on, let's get on with it. The older man went back to the truck that he had parked up between the bench and the river. Excuse me, I said. I'm not stopping here. It's boring. The older guy passed something to his colleague. Here, he said, you do the bending down, save my knees. This isn't funny, I said. I don't like it here. I want to go. The younger man crouched down and placed a bracket by one of the bench's 4 legs. What's that for? I said. What are you doing? Got it? The older man took out a heavy metal bolt and placed it against a hole in the bracket and drilled. The sound was deafening and the vibrations caused pins and needles everywhere and cramping. Stop! I can't stand it. They did stop, only they then moved on to the next leg and fixed that with a bolt and bracket as heavy as the first. No, I said, I don't want this. Heads down, they continued. Why are you ignoring me? They moved on to the third leg. No, no more. Stop. It's unbearable. I hate this. They worked together without a break, though the older man did stand upright and stretch between fixing each leg. You have to stop. This is hell. It really is. I don't want to be here. One more, the younger man said. It was brutal, that drilling sound, metal on metal. Once fixed, they stood at either end and shook me. I was as sturdy as the beech tree next to me. That's it. Job done, the older man said. The younger one nodded. This bench ain't going nowhere. No, I don't want this, I said, expecting them to respond. Instead, they loaded the equipment back onto the truck and started the engine. The noise went right through me, and they were gone. I don't get it. They didn't listen. How could they ignore me? I hate that. Now what? I took it all in. The old grey bench to the left and a large beech tree to the right, while ahead there were reeds and the River Thames, and across the river weeping willows. Beautiful, if you like that sort of thing. I can't stay here, I thought, as I stared at the water, imagining the river rise and overflow, flooding the path with my tears. Thing is, I know this spot. The bench is about a mile from my dad's house. There's a restaurant in one direction, and in the other a cafe built underneath one of the arches of the bridge. There are loads of benches along this stretch of riverside. Gabe tried to jump them once, going from bench to bench. He managed a few, but then fell flat on his face, and I thought he was hurt and ran over to him. But he just rolled onto his back and pulled me down on top of him, laughing because he'd made me panic. Hold on, wait a minute. Won't he come? Of course he will. He'll sense I'm here. He'll find me. Gabe will come. I sigh with relief and the cramping subsides. Gabe, my Gabe, love of my life, and I know that for sure. He will come. I watch the bridge, waiting for buses. They are matchbox size, and whenever I spot one, I think that must be Gabriel's bus. He'll appear on the path beside me any minute, and he'll have that look in his eyes, the one that is only for me. He's bound to be first. 40, 50, 55, 56 buses pass. I count them all day long, and dozens of people, dogs, and a few squirrels. Oh, there's Dad. I think it's him. It's hard to tell due to the cycling gear. Head-to-toe lycra and a black helmet. He's going slow, cycling up close to the benches, reading what they say. It's him. I recognise that guilty look that flickers across his face whenever he's late. He looks older, a little hollow round the eyes, not like when I first met him a few months ago. He's spotted me. There's a faint smile as he dismounts and leans his stupidly expensive bike against the old grey bench next door. He comes round to the front to face me. Take that ugly helmet off, you look a right neek. Lauren Bethany Miller. He reads the plaque and then stands back to get a better look. He nods as if it's the best bench he's ever seen. And then I know, he ordered it. I should have guessed. Only he could be that dumb. No one calls me Lauren, Dad. Why put that? I mean, fair enough, we haven't known each other long. But I was living with you for the last few months. You should know. He stares over the bench into the distance and his shoulders slump. What if my friends can't find me? Even Gabriel might not realise. I hate the thought of him walking past. If I had something sharp, like a compass or knife, I'd change it right now. Ren was here, is here, stuck, forever, as it turns out. Why dump me here? It's where the old people sit. Bet that was you too, Dad. It's your sort of place, with trees and ducks and the river and stuff, but it's hardly jokes. Where's the buzz? I'd rather be in town by the shops, or even better, outside the fried chicken shop. That place is busy 24/7, and more to the point, it's where I first met Gabe. If Dad had set me there, I'd see Gabe all the time. I'd love that. I'd love to see him again. I'd give anything. It's weird Gabe didn't make the funeral. I guess it was too painful. He'll be missing me for sure. I can see him now, his light hazel eyes with little dark flecks, all watery, like the time we both thought it was all over. It was such a rush when we finally got back together. Literally the happiest moment of my life. But it's the last time I can't stop thinking about. Gabe's eyes wide and desperate. No one would listen and he was so upset. Are you okay, Gabe? I really need to know. Dad shakes his head as if to break from a trance. He points his phone at the code, clicks, and there I am in a series of embarrassing photos, starting with me as a fat baby. Did you ever see me like that? The photos cut to the video of me in a black lace dress, age 17, singing, eyes closed. Dad turns off his phone and sits down, his breathing heavy as he stares across the river towards the weeping willows. He ignores everyone, even though many passers-by look at him. He could be an alien in that helmet. Anyway, Dad, enough of the grumpy face. You may as well head home. Susanna will be expecting you. And more to the point, I reckon Gabe will be here soon, and we definitely need some time alone. Funny, Dad does get up, like he's actually listening to me for once. He shivers, sniffs, rubs his hands, and reclaims his bike. Bye, Dad. Good to see you. Don't forget to let Gabe know where I am. He looks back once more, his eyes wet. He does care. My eyes also well up, only they don't really, because it's impossible. I stare ahead at the water. What is real? Birds are flying, the river flows. Life is here and apparent. Am I part of it? I must be. I'm here, aren't I? I'm hot. My heart beat fast. Is it all imagined? Dad didn't see me or hear me. Am I less than air? Gabe, hurry, come, I need you. We are one and the same. You'll see me, you'll know. The light is fading. It must be late afternoon. It's hard to make out people's faces. I bet Gabe will come when less people are around. He'd be emotional, and he's shy about stuff like that. A man approaches. He is hunched against the cold and wearing a heavy coat. He's too big to be Gabriel, and his walk is too rigid. I keep a constant vigil, aware he might miss me because of the misleading plaque. Every passer-by is potentially Gabe, until they come closer. Even the dog walkers and people with prams. He could be babysitting or helping out a neighbour. He's kind like that, though to be fair, he does get paid. What if I fall asleep and miss him? I try to rise up, cross the bridge and catch a bus to his place. Only I can't. Why is that? I know where to go, which bus stop, what bus, and where to get off. I remember it all, and yet I can't move. What can I do? I clench my fists and grind the teeth that sit tight in my jaws. Only I don't. What is left of me? And my only thoughts? I wiggle my toes like they told me to. I'm sure I can. But it's only my mind that races, onwards, darker, deeper, and alone.